Hey lovelies, I'm Queen Lovely. Welcome back to my channel, Melanated Crowns. So I wanted to come on here briefly and speak about this Kandi Burris, Todd, Mama Joyce situation. I think that there's like a unhealthy dynamic between Mama Joyce and Kandi. Someone made a good comment under the neighborhood talk where there was this clip where, there was Bravocon this weekend, and on the panel, Mama Joyce was pretty much asked, like, would you get a replacement for Kandi's husband? And if so, who would it be? And she said, a man with a decent job. And Mama Joyce has always had this stick up her ass about, Kandi being more financially well off than Todd. And while I do think that part of it is an unconditional love and concern that a mama usually does have for her daughter and her granddaughter, I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that Mama Joyce doesn't like the idea that somebody else is going to be getting a slice of the pie. That being Kandi's money. And on top of it, you're adding somebody else into the equation who's not even elevating the financial situation because he doesn't even make as much as her. And those are valid points because multiple truths do coexist and they are valid concerns. But I just feel like at this point, they've been married for years. They have 2 children together in tandem with them both having a child from a previous relationship. They've done business together. You name it under the sun. And they have weathered many storms in which I was like, Todd is about to walk out on Kandi. And I just feel like at this point, you should just respect your daughter's wishes. Like, if she wants to be with this man, then respect it because this is the father to your grandchildren. Mama Joyce, like, I don't get how people do shit like that. Like, y'all will shit talk somebody publicly, online, and whatever the case may be on television, but then you love the child or you love the grandkids, and it's like, this is the guardian to the children that you love and you babysit. This is the guardian to your grandkids. This is the husband to your daughter who you claim to love unconditionally. So why can't you just be happy for her? And I understand that we're in this era of hypergamy, soft life, level up. But the interesting thing is the marriages where the man that I know of personally, right? And hear me out because I'm not about to do you shouldn't marry a man who makes more than you because then he gonna beat your ass and he gonna be knocking you between the washer and dryer and stealing your car and fucking on bitches and then returning it on E. I'm not about to give that type of speech. Just hear me out. The women that I knew that were married and their husbands were the sole providers, those were the most unhealthy relationships ever. Those were the most unhealthy relationships that I've ever witnessed. And it wasn't 100% because the man was a piece of shit and the woman was a damsel in distress. A lot of it had to do with the woman chose to marry this man because of the superficiality and the surface level of financial stability above my happiness. And when you're not happy, that's just going to transcend. And because the foundation is rocky to begin with, it turns into a toxic marriage. And there's been quite a few marriages that I have front row eyes and seats to where the woman was being financially provided for, not to say that she didn't have her own, means of income, but it was a toxic marriage because she was not happy and she was solely with this man for the lifestyle, for the stability, for the comfortability. Whereas on the other end of the spectrum, the marriages that I've had a chance to witness where there was a balance in income or the woman on paper had more material success and stability, those marriages were healthy because they genuinely not only liked and loved each other and were equally equipped, but they loved each other enough to understand this is my strengths and this is where I shine and these are your strengths and this is where you shine, and we're going to come together and put the puzzle pieces together and work it out that way. They did love on their terms. They did love on their terms. And you want to know another one? both of these marriages that come to my mind, they didn't have no fancy ass wedding. They went down to the courthouse or they did it in their living room and went about their business. And those are the marriages that withstood and are still standing. And it's just very interesting to me because I say it all the time. People don't want relationships and marriages. They want weddings and audiences. You want another notch on your ego because you're attaching your worth and your value to your ability to be partnered. So while I do appreciate this new era of more intentional dating, right? More healthy dating, right? Being aware of what you want and what type of woman you are and how that fits into these other stages that you're going to step into if you wanted motherhood and, being a wife. Sometimes there's things that outweigh money and sometimes there's things that outweigh love. It depends on the person and it's all subjective. And I do think, like I said, Mama Joyce comes from that old school, it's a woman's job to make a home and it's a man's job to provide. But what's really paradoxical and ironic about this situation is there is a role reversal. Kandi can't stay home to save her life. And there's been many conversations where Todd has begged his wife to stay home and to be more present and to be more about the family. And they went to marriage counseling. And she's so addicted to the hustle and bustle. Whereas with Todd is more family oriented. Sometimes it works out that way. We see this on Married to Medicine with Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone. So I just want to remind people, if everybody has different lists and things that need to be at the top of their priority list, but please do not sacrifice your happiness and, your true, if you're meant to, fall in love and be partnered in this lifetime, don't sacrifice that because you have a fear of, instability, because you have a lack mindset. Don't do that. And I feel like coming back to Mama Joyce, it just seems somewhat disingenuous. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, you don't do nothing to add to, Kandi's empire. I mean, y'all got the old lady gang, but y'all be getting bad reviews. And I heard the television show was a hot ass mess. So I don't know. I just wonder. I don't know. Kandi needs to be careful. She needs to be careful. Another opinion that I have is that, God forbid, if they do divorce and they do split up, yes, they have a prenup, but a prenup is simply a contractual agreement. And contractual agreements, there's loopholes and they get broken all the time. We've seen many women with prenups still get fucked sideways. I think Mary J. Blige was one of them. God forbid if they do get a divorce, if they do separate, I wonder if Todd will be able to get Kandi for emotional distress for the verbal and emotional abuse that he has had to endure in tandem with Mama Joyce constantly perpetuating these narratives about his ability to be responsible, to be the head of his household. But whatever the case may be, I wonder if he would be able to add that in and get some money. I don't know why intuitively in my gut I feel led to speak that right now. But Kandi needs to be careful because you really are setting yourself up. Like I said, God forbid if this goes left, for Todd to have so much shit that he can use that's well documented where you see it and where we see you doing absolutely nothing. And I know it's a tough position to be in. That's your mom. And I have a feeling Mama Joyce plays the, if it wasn't for me, there would be no you card. She just gives me old school, baby boomer toxic. She really does. And I think Kandi's brother passing away made the situation no better. I think there's a lot of shit there. That's their business. I ain't gonna go digging. That's for them to work out. But yeah, that's just not cool. That's not cool. And that's all I have to say about that. I didn't like it. It's old. It's tired. And the fact that Todd's mother is not even here anymore and that didn't do anything in your heart to be more of a mother figure to him, I don't like that. It speaks to the sadness and the pain in your soul. And it's just fucked up. But again, Todd is a grown man. I gotta keep it even. He's a grown man, and I'm sure he weighed his pros and cons as we all do as people, and he said, hey, I'm marrying up. It's an upgrade to my lifestyle. I love this woman. They done went and had 2 more kids. Kandi. I am not saying that Todd is a user or an abuser, but divorce does bring out a different side of people. And if that comes, and the only reason why I'm saying divorce is because there's only so much a person can take, especially a man. Men have fragile egos. So there's only but so many times your mama gonna be calling me a bum nigga who's living off of you before I get tired of it. And I have a feeling that if Todd has another big break or success in production or something to where he gets off big, he will conveniently get tired and file for divorce. Again, I don't want to be right about that. I'm not wishing that. I don't even speak on those girls like that, so you know this ain't personal. But I'm just calling a thing, in my opinion. I am. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Enjoy your Tuesday. It's like 10 in the morning, but I'll probably have this out later this evening. Make sure y'all check out my latest video I did about the fun girl aesthetic. Thank you so much for your support, your love. Some of you have emailed me and contacted me. I really appreciate it, and I love y'all. See you later.